I need to make a video about this because I will literally explode if I don't, so... The new Wilds trailer just dropped into our laps yesterday, and it seems everyone, including me, is absolutely floored at what Capcom has been cooking up for us. Because of time zones, I ended up watching the trailer at 2 AM with a friend of mine over Discord, and we were losing our freaking marbles at, well, everything. The locale, the, characters, and of course, the gameplay. It's pretty obvious that this is more of a sneak peek trailer rather than a full-on gameplay trailer, as most of the stuff shown was pretty surface level. It seems the main story reveal will come at a later date, so they only introduced a handful of characters. Or should I say, reintroduced. As for the locales and monsters, it's more of the same from the revealed trailer, showcasing the new desert locale and the pseudo-Gosharag Doshaguma, and the new amphibian Katakabra. I was pretty surprised by the sheer amount of smaller creatures and how they seem to interact with each other, and even the big fellas. They look to gang up on the Katakabra here, and we see one of those pangolin guys get thrown at the hunter, much like a Devil Joe would throw a Great Jagras in World. But what really caught my eye was the combat portion of the trailer, and needless to say, it got me hyped up, but also was the cause for some concern and a lot of questions. This mostly originates from the new so-called focus mode depicted here, where the hunter enters a stance with his greatsword and pulls off a counterattack and a follow-up afterwards. Now, right off the bat, this looks incredible, and I really felt that they managed to capture the weight and power of the greatsword, but part of me is wondering, what does focus mode actually do for most of the weapons? Is it just like a Silkbind attack from Rise, where you spend a resource to pull it off, or is it just like part of the base weapon moveset? Can you switch around what moves you can do in focus mode, like a switch skill, or is it more akin to how Iceborne added new moves to the weapon's base moveset? On that note, will the Slinger have any uses in direct combat outside of flashes and dung bombs? Iceborne's longsword got access to a Slinger burst, but it wasn't really that useful, so will they change up how it's used in Wilds? Back on the topic of focus mode, if it is a limited resource, is it just like Wire Bugs, where it charges over time? Or is it more like Hunter Arts, where you first need to fill a gauge by attacking normally before unleashing an attack? Perhaps it's similar to entering a Valor Sheath, where you lose health and stamina rapidly while holding the stance, meaning that using it frivolously punishes you in more ways than just whiffing the attack. I imagine entering the stance would at least impede your movement somewhat. Maybe it disables dodge rolling? I don't know. There are so many questions about what focus mode entails, and the vague description on the official website doesn't do much to answer them. Ultimately, what I fear is that we'll get a rerun of Wire Bugs, where most of the hunt is devoted to seeing how many focus mode counters you can pull off, leading to more monotonous and shallow gameplay. Do I honestly think that's how it's gonna turn out? No, not at all. I'm certain Capcom is taking their time and have listened to the feedback players gave regarding both the Clutch Claw and the Wire Bugs, and it's clear from the trailer that the weighty, satisfying combat from World is what Wilds is building off of. Until the Summer Games Fest though, and we get more info, this fear will stay with me, at least for a little bit. Now, if you ask me, my ideal version of focus mode would be a marriage between switch skills and Hunter Arts. Basically, you'd play your weapon normally, prioritizing positioning and wounding specific body parts, which is something we can see done in the trailer without the need for a Clutch Claw, and as you deal damage, your focus gauge fills up, perhaps filling up a tiny amount passively over time as well. After that, depending on the focus attacks you have equipped, you can spend parts of the focus bar to pull off mighty attacks, or perhaps even give yourself a passive boost for a while. This way, players aren't desensitized to huge cinematic moves through spamming, like in Rise, as you need to rebuild focus after performing said moves before you can use another one. Additionally, because players actually have to put in the work first before doing a focus moves, it makes the payoff 10 million times more satisfying. Think of it like hitting a super move in a fighting game raw versus hitting it after doing a full combo. Both are satisfying, yes, but the work you needed to do before the move only adds to the satisfaction of actually hitting it. Monster Hunter is a series that has a lot of things to love about it. Charming and cool monster designs, a unique focus on interaction with the environment, and a strong emphasis on teamwork and cooperation that encourages people to come together to overcome challenges the game throws at you. Oh, and the story is there too, I guess. The thing that keeps Monster Hunter fans coming back, though, is the gameplay. And just like how Wire Bugs was make or break in Rise for a lot of fans, with just as many loving them as there are who despise them, it's possible that Focus Mode will be the make or break in Wilds. Personally, even if, for whatever reason, Focus Mode is a straight ripoff of Wire Bugs in every aspect, which, again, I highly doubt is the case, I'll still play through Wilds, if only just to see how they continue to develop the interactivity with the world, monsters, and story. It seems like this time around, with a voiced hunter, a lot of focus will be put on the hunter's journey, and I'm incredibly excited to see what Tokuda and Fujioka have in store for us next week. So, to wrap up, let me know your thoughts. What do you make of the combat and focus mode? What are you personally looking forward to in Wilds the most? Oh, those are the only questions I have. Thanks for watching. See ya.